doctor.
Thank you so much and welcome back to the show. Talking to one of my favorite people now, as one of the few people to bring HIV to the nation's attention with her hit radio program Positive Talk on Metro FM. Criselda Kananda is not just concerned about raising awareness around HIV, she's passionate about living, making her an admirable role model to so many Africans. Criselda, it is great to have you on the show again. We barely recognize you. You are looking in great shape. What happened? What made you whip up this fantastic, shape of yours?
The same message that I preached the last time I was here, purely just being passionate about living and focusing on what needs to be done in order for me to just continue living, that I practice what I'm preaching.
Okay, well, we want to know what you're preaching, so let's get down to the basics. You often talk about holistic wellness.
Yeah.
Tell us what that means for you.
Now, when many years ago, doctor said to me, you have 2 years to live, you're going to die because you have HIV. And at the time, he actually said you have AIDS. I made it my mission to just go back and just get an understanding what is meant by this. And I realized that many of us have missed the point. HIV means you have an immune deficiency causing virus. But we took it and turned it into the sexual education that has gone horribly wrong. And in my quest to then educate about what it means to have an immune deficiency causing virus, I realized that in order for us to strengthen our immune system, you have to be healthy, body, mind, and soul. So I take care of my health by ensuring that I treat each and every opportunistic infection as it occurs. I exercise whenever possible, but just being physically active, because as you sweat, you allow all the toxins to get out of your body. And as you would know, that you need less toxins when you have an immune deficiency. And when we talk about eating healthy, that the more I feed my body with nutritious food, the more I strengthen my immune system. And that's taking care of the body. And in the mind, I ensure that I surround myself with positive people. I think positively. My company is Positive Talk Services. I host a positive talk show. So it's just positiveness all around me. Anything that's negative, I just block it off. And when we're talking about a healthy soul, I'm a highly spiritual being, and I do believe that there is a God, and I focus on what God says about me and my life and his promises, and voila, that's what you see.
And we agree on that. You know that. We sing off the same song sheet. That's a note to self, by the way. Ask a radio talk show host one question and she just goes with it. You know, can't get a word in edgeways there. I wanted to ask how your daughter was. In fact, before you tell me, Criselda was diagnosed with HIV 11 years ago. She was 7 months pregnant at the time. Her daughter was born without HIV, which again is a godsend. It's wonderful. She's lived a healthy, symptom-free life ever since. You now know why. Listen to how she lives. But how's your daughter doing?
She's absolutely amazing, in good health and doing well in school, continuing to do mommy proud. And it's simply because I did pay attention to what needed to be done.
I was going to say, great parenting. Yeah. That's the result. You talked about healthy living. You talked about nutrition. You talked about your soul. You talked about thinking positively. What about ARVs?
Now, many years ago when I was diagnosed, Michael, I was told at the time, because my CD4 count was very high, it almost felt like go home, go and deteriorate, almost near death, come back, will help you then. And I guess that's what compelled me to just go out and read as much as I can. And so many years later, I still don't need antiretrovirals. My CD4 count is still very high. And, I always say we distort how we teach about the interventions in managing HIV. That often would focus on if you don't have antiretrovirals, you have no hope. And that's false information. It really, because when you have a CD4 count that's higher than 500, there's so much that you can do, so much that you can do in living in pure wellness and strengthening your well-being. There will come a time, perhaps, when I need antiretrovirals, but not yet.
Congratulations, that's just amazing. We are heading into winter, though. You talked about opportunistic infections. Yeah. So we've got flu, the influenza virus hovering around you. You are immune compromised. What do you do to strengthen your immune system? I've
went back and learned some of Granny's kitchen remedies.
Okay, well, do tell. Yeah, I will give them a thumbs up or not.
Absolutely. And I was told that the more chili you add in your food, especially cayenne pepper, in its raw form, you're warming up your body, and it is as it heats up inside, you're killing viruses.
True, except that heat is temporary. So what it does do, and cayenne pepper and chilies, particularly high in vitamin C.
Yeah.
Vitamin C, great antioxidant, great immune supportive mineral, or vitamin rather. So that's how you do it. That's fascinating.
That's how I do it. And obviously loads and loads of vitamin C from your citrus fruit, taking a lot of yellows in the vegetable colors.
Sure.
And
as you said, and it's exercise and it's sleeping properly. So
and
it's
drinking
all of those
water, very important, drinking water. They talk about 8 to 10 glasses of water, but I've learned a trick, and I'm sure by now you know, that your body will tell you how much water you need. The more thirsty you become, it says you need more. So I drink as much as I possibly can.
You drink a little more, which is good. You also might eat a little more. And they say, particularly with people who have HIV, that there's an extra 10% of calories required to compensate for the energy loss of having the virus in your body. So there's something to think about as well. Criselda, your positivity, and I know our audience will attest to this, just kind of flows out of you, which is wonderful. But I know that you regularly get callers who say, I've just been diagnosed with HIV. Help. What do you say to people like that?
With managing HIV and any other condition, there's no one-size-fits-all. There's no magic bullet that you can just shoot it out and it works for everyone. That I need to be looking at me as an individual and what I'm faced with, what my challenges are, and I would then take that individual step by step for them to recognize that, one, you're still alive, be grateful for that. That as you express gratitude on what you have and not focus more on what you don't have. So I would take the individual through their pain and get them to realize that there's actually greatness even in the midst of pain. 2 days ago, I received an email from a person who sent me a baby picture. I went to visit this woman in hospital when she was told she was about to give birth, and she was told you have HIV, and the husband dumped her. It was a dire situation. And 7 years later, baby son is now in school. He was in uniform. You know, sometimes you do these things not realizing how much it impacts on people's lives. And to see that baby 7 years later with uniform for the very first time.
Wonderful.
Gosh. You can only just say thank you that I'm living a purposeful life, and I really appreciate the space that I'm in, and I never ever take it for granted.
And you are living a purposeful life, and you're making a huge difference, Criselda. Thank you.
And I'm loving it.
I'm sure you are loving life. So I guess that's what Madiba meant when he called Criselda a light for the world to see, a role model for African women. HIV positive or not, Criselda reminds us all that living a healthy life is not just a physical thing. It all starts with a healthy mindset and a positive approach to life. Though HIV may place a strain on your immune system and make you more prone to getting ill, you can still live your best life by paying attention to what you eat, how much you exercise, and keeping your mind positive. Criselda, thank you so very, very much. Criselda Kananda.
Absolute pleasure. I promise to come back again and looking as great.
Well, if you let me get a word in edgeways, then maybe. You know,
Great, I will do.
Thanks, Criselda.